Hey, this is Rick with Mike and Rick Outdoors, and today, or this week, Mike and I are out at 11 Mile Reservoir near, Lake George, Colorado. And we're out here fishing, but I wanted to show you something. And I've already shown you guys how I sleep, the best I've ever slept when camping. And Mike does this also now. But before I tell you that and a little bit more, please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you'll be alerted as soon as we put out new videos. What I wanted to show you today is the cot. I'm not going to go into detail on the cot, but there'll be a link right here to a previous video on the cot and how I make it up. You'll love it if you try it. It's great. Just to give you just a real quick understanding of what I do. It is an REI Kingdom cot. It has a 3-inch memory foam on it, and then I put sheets down, and then the sleeping bags on top of it, but they act as more of a comforter. And also what that sheet does, especially the fitted sheet, it holds that memory foam so it doesn't slide around. Check it out, you'll really like it, but you'll see it here, but I'm not going to go into it in detail. What I really want to show you today was, I've got several things here, and I'm going to take this camera and show you around. But things I've learned from when Mike and I were out camping in October this last year, 2022, at the Miramonte Reservoir, and it was down to 12 to 15 degrees at night. It was freezing, so staying warm was important. But it was also about how, staying warm at night, sleeping. And what I realized when I was out there that time was, and I had more gear, and I had 2 tables and all, but I had my cot right up against the side of the tent to give me more room in the middle. Well, that makes it more cold. I've realized when it's really cold, you want to pull your cot away from the tent. Right now, you can see over here, I have a nightstand over here, or an end table. I have 2 of them. And they're Coleman nightstands. They're great. They fold up real small, but they're great to have out here. I put things on them, a nightlight, a Kleenex, water, things like that. But what I did is I put it between the tent, the side of the tent, and the cot. So I've got, probably about 2 feet between the wall of the tent and the bed. Now, this isn't important right now because it's the first part of July. I think it's July, 7th, 8th, or 6th. It's July 6th. It's 78 degrees during the day, but it does get down to 50 at night. But in these temperatures, it's not that important. But when it's really cold, it is. So make sure you always keep your cot farther away from the side of the tent. I even thought maybe if it was really cold, I might put my cot lengthwise so I have 3 or 4 feet from either side of the walls of the tent. But again, that's not important on this trip. But let me show you real quick a few of the things of how last night, I slept incredible. And you might give me grief on one of them, but that's okay. I'll take it. Let me turn this camera around so you can see a little bit better what I've got. All right, so here's the cot, the REI cot. And I have a Murdoch chair. It's great. It's an oversized chair. Love it though. And I've got my table over here. My gear is down below me here. And then over here, I have a Mr. Heater, portable heater, propane heater. It's not the portable, it's the bigger one, but it's the Mr. Heater propane heater. So let me just tell you a little bit what happened. So let me show you the cot real first. I just want to give you a glimpse of this. So I've got this other end table right here, and it's real nice to put things on. But if you look down here, you can see it's got this 3-inch memory foam, and then I've got another foam on top, below it. Don't really need that. But then there's this Kingdom cot, and it's got probably 1 inch, 3/4 inch padding on it, and these feet that are round feet that keep from puncturing the floor of your tent. So it's a really, really nice cot. All right, so I was sleeping here last night. It was getting down to 50. It was actually really windy, and it was 50 degrees and windy. And I sleep around with 67 to 68 degrees at night. Well, 50 is okay if you basically want to go jump inside your sleeping bag and go to sleep. But I was doing some research. I was researching how to clean trout and cook them. And Mike and I were talking about that yesterday, and he's getting a lot better at that because he's been doing the fishing. I just do the videos. But what I did last night is I turned this heater on low, and I don't have it hooked up to the big propane, the 20-pound propane tanks. I did that at Miramonte last year because it was so cold, and we had to basically run those heaters all day long. But you can see right here on this, on both sides, there's a propane or canister on, and you plug that in, and there's, of course, there's one on that side too, right here. And then what I did is I got this fan right here. Let me get the information for you. So it's new. I haven't used this before, but I'll tell you what, it works really, really good. So it is boy, it says SignStec. SignStec. It's a ST145 Plus stove fan, 4-blade, heat distribution with a stove fan. All right, and it's anyway. That's what's on the stove, and I'll put a link in in the description below for that. But once you turn this on, even on low, this fan starts moving, and it starts blowing the air towards out away from the heater rather than up. And it's got this frame here, a metal frame that you have to hook on for it to sit in. And again, that'll be in a separate video, and I'll put a link in the description for that fan below it. When I get it loaded, then that'll be there. So I was debating whether to even bring a heater this time, but seeing the weather, and it was raining a lot of storms yesterday, and so I brought it. But I was really thankful that I did, because, like I said, because it was pretty darn windy, and then it was down to about 50 degrees, and Mike and I were outside, and we were looking at, we had everything set up, and we were thinking about starting the fire, but it was so windy that it was, we're like, nah, let's don't do that. Well, so I came inside. We said, hey, let's call it quits for the night, and I think it was around 9 o'clock. And I came in here, turned on my lantern, and then I turned on the heater, and that cold, that damp, it wasn't damp because it's dry out here, but that coldness and the wind, because I got this 4-season tent. It's a Kodiak canvas Flexbow tent. I think it's an 8-person tent. I also have a link in the description below for it. But I'll tell you, just the keys of staying warm is having a good tent, having a good cot, having a heat source if you need it, and a great way to sleep and staying warm. Because I turned it on low, and I sat here in my chair, and again I was doing the research, and I was looking up videos. We have cell service here at 11 Mile Reservoir. In case you want to know and come out here, there is cell service. And so I was doing the research with the fishing. And it was so nice because I was able to take off my pants, put shorts on, I had a t-shirt on, and no socks, and I had my feet in front of the heater, and just sitting here, and I'll put a picture up for my, with my feet. They're not the most sexy feet in the world, sorry about that. But it was so nice. I was just sitting here relaxing in my tent, away from the wind. It wasn't chilly anymore, and it was great. And then when I thought maybe might be too hot sleeping at night, but I had the heater about 6 feet or so away from the cot, and then it was on low. But I'll tell you what, I slept so good last night, and cot plus getting that chill out of the air. Again, you don't need it, and that's the one thing you might want to give me grief on. It's like, okay, real men don't need the heater and they could sleep. Yeah, I've done that my whole life. But it was kind of nice. It was nice having some warmth in the tent. Just saying, give me all the grief you want. But that's it. If you've got great ideas and advice, tips about how you camp, what you camp in, how you stay warm, what you like to do, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below. If you'd like to give me grief for not being, real man, go ahead. I can take that too. I'd love to hear your tips, tricks, any advice you have. Very interactive channel. and we like to respond, learn stuff from people, and then also give advice. So that's it for today. Thanks for joining me here with Mike and Rick Outdoors in the great state of Colorado at the 11-mile reservoir, again by or near Lake George, Colorado. A lot of good fishing out here. The trout are big. Seen some 18 to 20s inch trout already, and it's a beautiful location. So try it out, check it out. It's a nice place. But please like, subscribe, share, and turn on notifications so you'll be alerted as soon as we put out new videos. And I will see you, and Mike will see you back out here in Colorado, or actually next year we're going to be up in Canada, and we're going to be spreading out, going different places. But we'll see you soon in another video.